The Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hi everyone, welcome to The Art and Industry of Business and Living. You're Simone Milasas, your host, and this is a little bit odd because I did a fabulous, awesome podcast with my PR agent, Justine McKell. And apparently the beginning of the podcast got lost in the ether somewhere. So I'm doing a little bit of an intro here and we're going to patch it together because some of the stuff that Justine spoke about was absolutely brilliant and I would hate you to miss out on that. So what you're about to listen to is the majority of our podcasts that we did. And it's pretty much about inviting and engaging people, to be more of you and standing out from the crowd. It's like there's a lot of elements that she talks about with, writing to be aware of when writing articles and what the media need to hear and how to talk so that you engage them and embrace what they're desiring to know. She is an amazing, amazing, amazing PR agent. She was in her background. She, worked in radio for a long, long time, and she also produced on TV. I think you miss out on this. I think it's a hilarious story where she thought, her primetime job would be, reporting at the snow. We, brought up in Australia. So she got this job doing the snow report in Thredbo in New South Wales, and she used to have to stand out there in the snow and give the weather report and the snow report, etc. But she wasn't allowed to wear sunglasses. She said they kept saying to her, "Open your eyes." And it's like, if you've ever been to the snow, it's even brighter if you don't have glasses on at all because of the reflection of the sun on the snow. So she said she remembers it wasn't as great as what she thought it was. And the interesting thing I thought was that every single time she gave a snow report, people would get cranky if she didn't give the correct snow report. And she was like, my God, I felt so, guilty of not being in control of the snow, etc. So anyway, that was just one of the things that she created with her life. What I would like you to do is enjoy this show with myself and Justine McKell from McKell Media and find out more about some tools and ways to invite and engage people so that they can actually find out more about you and you can actually stand out from the crowd. Enjoy. So, the other day I was talking to someone about when I make a video, I actually, and even the podcast too, I like people to be able to listen, watch, etc., and be able to walk away and put that tool into their life, like be able to use it. So it's not just about, selling. Of course, you've got to tell people what's going on, like, where you have classes, etc. But I always like to create it so that coming to a class is a choice. It's not this like I'm hiding information from you and it's a necessity for you to come. So is that the sort of thing that you're looking at with the press release as well, is giving them a taste of something?
Absolutely. I had someone come to me and we were working together and they refused to give tips out in their press release. And I had so much trouble because they didn't want to give out the course content. They wanted people to come along. And I was trying to educate them around if you do give those tips, people are more likely to come along. Otherwise, it's just really selling. So giving away the 3 tools, or if someone reads that and it pops for them, then they're more likely to come along. So absolutely. And I've watched all your videos, and by giving a tool, you're like, great, you start the day off in the right way. And then you're like, oh, wow, what would that class be like? So it's actually an invitation.
You start engaging with people. So let me ask you a question, because what about someone like Richard Branson, who everybody knows who he is? Should someone like him still be giving out like a little taster, or is he at that stage where he can just go, I'm Richard Branson, come see me speak?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I've been watching his daughter, Holly Branson, and a lot on Insta stories at the moment. And she's so real. Like, you just want to be her. It's like she's my best friend and I don't even know her. And she had her dad on there the other day, and it was like she had no idea how to connect it. And she was like, I'm really hoping, I don't know how to do a 3-way Facebook Live or Insta story and connect him. And finally I was waiting, and after 8 minutes, whereas normally people were just like, oh, this is crap. Richard Branson and her dad got on, and it was just such a great conversation. She's like, hi, Dad, how you going? I'm like, this is Richard Branson. And it was just this beautiful, open chat about business, and she's got a book out and his life, and he's just like open, like an open book. And I think that's actually a really big tip, is be vulnerable, be willing to be vulnerable, because no one, especially in Australia, likes that anyone that's fake. You can smell it a mile away. So I would say that honesty and that authenticity is, and you can't hide it from an Insta live feed or a Facebook live feed.
Being real. Yeah. I like that too. That's my most fun ones, is someone who's being real. And it's like, this is the moment, not like my life is just fabulous and everything's, pre-prepared. So I like that. So yeah. I mean, that was when I met Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, at a seminar. He swore and I was like, oh, thank God, someone at a Mind, Body and Spirit festival who isn't telling me what I should do, and he's swearing. And then the next thing he said was, don't trust me. He goes, don't trust me, trust you. He goes, anything I say, if it doesn't feel right to you, don't buy it. And I was like, oh, thank God, someone's not telling me that I'm wrong and that I should be doing something different so that I can be right. It was so refreshing. So, what if you could be refreshing in your press releases, hard for me to say, or refreshing in the article, right, too?
Yeah, how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you make yours different? And it kind of is the same with you writing article content for online news outlets or lifestyle outlets. A lot of the media these days, they're just so time poor. So they're having to churn and burn and produce a lot of stories. So we're finding that when we're doing our pitching, they're like, they might not have time for an interview, but they're like, great, we really like that subject. The three types of people you need in business, or how do you take your business to the world? Would you mind putting together a 600 words article about that? So I don't know if you want me to give some tips around that.
Yeah, I do. That's what. Yeah, let's go to the elements of writing. So say we've got a 600-word article and you are asking about how to move your business forward. It's like, what's some of those elements that people need to be aware of?
Yeah, I would say firstly, know your publication. So is it women in business? Is it really hardcore business? Or is it more of a mind, body, spirit and Om Times or a mind, body, green? Because they all are so different. So I'd go on there and check out some of the stories and look at the tone of the articles. Also, a big hint is at the bottom of each website, under the About Us section, they will either have a write for us or, contribute to us or whatever it is. And a lot of the time they'll have what they're after there. So, for example, Pop Sugar Australia, I just went onto their website before, and down the bottom they say our tone is friendly, upbeat, encouraging, open-minded. We give advice and in the know, but we're not know-it-alls. Stories are written with a positive spin and we approach topic as fans, not critics. So you kind of get the vibe. So, my first tip would definitely be know the publication and research it. Also, an access question is what can my audience hear? So just asking that to get into the flow. And a lot of people, I find, want to put everything into that 600 words or that 750 words, but really that's not a lot of words to share your whole story. So it's almost grab one idea and expand on that rather than verbal diarrhea.
It's funny, as you're saying this, at school, I did hardly any science, and the least math that I could get away with. I did all history subjects, English subjects, studied 3 units Shakespeare, all these sort of things, but which meant a lot of essays. And as you're saying it, all I can hear is my teachers going introduction and then the points within the essay and then the conclusion. Is that sort of the theme that you want to, keep with?
That is it. That's totally it. The next point I was going to say, look, the form and structure of it, it has to have the intro and that introduction, to pull them in, whether you're sharing a tiny bit of your personal story, then the middle where you can either have some tools and tips, and then the conclusion at the end that wraps it up into a nice bow. So you go, oh, great, okay. And then your bio at the bottom with your website.
So, the other day, again, with this video conversation, I was like, we were in Langkawi at this 7-day event. I know you were there too, Justine. And I think I got asked for 18 different videos. And I kept going, I don't want to do any videos. But people were looking at it to rely on making that the promo of me going, hi, I'm Simone. I'm coming to Croatia or I'm coming to Russia, It's like, that is so freaking boring to me. So in the conclusion of an article or anything, is that more the space where you introduce yourself? Like, do you more introduce the topic, the taster, like make it about the person or the readers at the beginning?
At the beginning, or at the conclusion? Yeah, at the beginning, it's more about like, what am I going to tell you in this next 750 words, so they know that the topic is either money is not the problem, you are. And then if you reveal a story, I was, the 187K in debt, but here's some tools how I got out of it, because then you're connecting with the audience by revealing or sharing a bit of a hardship or a problem, and then you're going into the solution of it. Here are some tools how I did it, and at the end, it's kind of wrapping it all up. And summarizing that. So the biggest takeaway home tip is start having gratitude, or putting away your 10% account. So once you get into the flow of how to, these writing articles, it's actually quite easy. But a lot of the articles I've seen just from a varying number of people, that they're just trying to put everything in there, which I get, but it doesn't make you want to read on. And I guess also have someone else read it as well. And you kind of know energetically, like it just totally pops. Like we have one writer on our team that just every article sings and pops, and there's full stops, and it's simple and it's not selling, it's informative, and you just go, great. Like you've got a takeaway home tool that I'm going to use, and just there's a flow of it. But you know what? Like a lot of authors and experts actually have ghostwriters. So if writing is not a strength, or you don't find it easy, there are so many ghostwriters that can write it. And also, I mean, I find, because normally I'm in a doing, like I'm on emails responding or actioning, whereas writing for me, it sometimes needs to get in a bit of a flow. So making sure like your phone's off, or you're not checking Instagram, and trying to get into that flow. Because once you've kind of got the rhythm, it is easy to reproduce.
So tell me about ghostwriting. How does that work?
So
tell everyone else.
A ghostwriter, it's actually funny. You'd be surprised, really big magazine authors like who and authors of books who actually has ghostwriters, because, grammar is and editing is such a skill in itself. But ghostwriters, you can find ghostwriters, and what you'd have to do is just give them some of your audios or your classes or your books to read, so make sure they've got your tone. And I'm not sure what websites that you could find them on, but I'm sure there's, like, if you just Google ghostwriters, or you put out a bid for some writers on different, I can't even think of those websites where people bid for your work as well.
A Fiverr or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, ask around. I mean, I'm a big one for when you desire something to show up in your life and you ask for it, it ends up showing up in some way, in some format.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's just an easy way. If you have these articles, you can, once they go to print, you can put it onto your website, and you kind of have controlled the content slightly. So if someone's, I guess two things. You've got them on your website, which is credible. If you're a producer, like back in my days, I would go on there and go, oh, wow, she's been featured on Pop Sugar, or she's been featured on Yahoo. She must be credible. And even, I can't remember who I was saying this to, but when I was pregnant, I was looking for like doulas or best birth experts, or, pain-free birth. And I came across this woman that had like featured on Channel 9 and Fox News and her current affairs. And I was sold. I bought her online program, and I was like, I'm a sucker. It so works, and I'm in the media.
And you know it, and it worked. I love it.
Yeah,
that's like when I used to work in retail, sometimes we'd get dresses in and we would mark them, like we'd mark them $250 and then put a cross through it and then say, 180, and people would walk in and go, oh my God, it's on sale. This was years and years ago.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because people would just like think, that's what we did. It was in Birkenhead in Sydney. Oh. It's like known for secondhand clothing, etc. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of retail shops. So anytime we put the clothes in that shop, because it was like not secondhand, it was like seconds and things like that, or last season. So we would do that so that we could sell them, and it was so interesting to see how much it worked. Hey, Justine.
That's so funny. Just randomly, I used to work at Birkenhead Point as well, and I was in the second store at Espery, and I had to spruik outside. It might only have a missing button or a broken zipper, but today everything's going for like $50 or less. And that was one of my jobs at Birkenhead Point too.
Oh, that's funny. Ours was Tree of Life. So,
oh yes, I know that one.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to ask you a question about writing with now, because I noticed myself, I don't like reading a lot of copy. I mean, I used to read a zillion books and I don't read anymore either. I like to see points. I like it to be quick. I like videos, or I like audio. It's like, how is that moving in the media industry? Like, do people like all of it? Is there someone for everything, or what is it looking like?
We are so in a world of ADD, and it's to do with a lot of social media. Like, have you noticed how quickly people just flick through Instagram and flick through Facebook? If it doesn't capture you in the first few seconds, we're gone. I think especially with the younger generation, I think that it really does depend, because I think over 50, over 60 do have the time sometimes to read articles or appreciate it more. But I would say...
Oh, really, good. I'm under 50, so then I'm one of the ADD ones in.
Yeah, but it really depends what type of outlet. Like recently we were in touch with New York Times, and they have a section there called The Modern Love, and it's just essays about love stories or something personal that has happened to you that has to deal around like relationships. But I'm the same. Like, if it doesn't catch me in the first few sentences, I just don't read on. Actually, you know, what's interesting is that I'm subscribed to a lot of newsletters, and it's like Women is one of them. It's a website, and Sports Lux, and it's interesting what I will click on with the headlines. Like, if it's got a great headline, I will click on and read more. But this Modern Love, I had to get like into the flow of it, but it has up to 2,000 words. Sometimes they go even longer than that, and that's more essay style. So it's almost like at night, a cup of tea, in bed, or a glass of wine, I'm going to sit down and read this story. Whereas a lot of these articles I'm talking about writing for the media, they're for lifestyle website or online websites where you might just read them whilst you're at work. So I think short, catchy, you're giving away the tools, and then you've got that nice, conclusion at the end. I would say that's the way to go, but really just tap into what is the outlet I'm writing for, and it kind of depends on that.
Cool. This has been fantastic, Justine. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm sure everyone else out there is very grateful. So, Justine McKell Media, I don't know if you're taking any new clients.
Oh, I'm pretty busy with Access.
I know. But I would love to have you on again to, talk more about getting out there into the media. We can choose a slightly different topic. So I really want to thank you for coming on, Justine. You are awesome. I adore you.
Thank you.
And if you guys want to check out accessconsciousness.com and check out the media, now when you look at it, the website and everything, check out the media and see Google it and see what Justine has done for us. She's been brilliant. And don't forget to check out accessjoybusiness.com. And I do have a Business Done Different class coming up in Paris, which I just love saying that. It's in Paris, and if you can't come to Paris, you can also live stream it. It's at the beginning of July. I think it starts on let me find it.
I think it's the 9th of July, because I'm bringing the whole family to Paris to come to your class.
No, it's the 6th, 7th, 8th of July.
That's it.
So hopefully you don't show up on the 9th.
Okay.
Because I'll be flying to Venice then for the Joy Business training. Yeah, so it's the 6th, 7th, 8th, and I'm so looking forward to having you and James and little Jagger in Paris with me. So,
oh my goodness. Ooh la la.
And if you like this podcast, you can sign up and we'll send you the summary of it, etc. And also, please don't forget to check out my friend Megan Hill's podcast, What Else Is Possible Show. So thank you so much. Anything else you want to add there, Justine? Juicy?
No, I was just saying, just get down and dirty if you want to do your PR. You don't need a PR agent. You can, experiment and start doing it yourself. Not doing myself out of a job, but just try it. Write some articles and be a walking, talking PR machine when you leave the door, because you never know who knows which person or who knows what. So just start practicing.
Cool. Thank you, Justine, again. All right. Bye, everyone. See you next time.